All right, so we are ready to start Unit 10. Unit 10 is going to be a continuation of chemistry that we began in Unit 9. So for these notes, you are going to need some highlighters, something to write with, and maybe a periodic table to refer to. So to get started, we're going to look at our standards together. And our first standard that we're going to be talking about is standard S8P1C. And it says to plan and carry out investigations to compare and contrast chemical reactivity and combustibility and physical density, melting point, boiling point properties of matter. So take a moment and fill in those blanks and highlight. I'm going to make this a little larger. There we go. And then our second standard is S8P1D, and that says to construct an argument based on observational evidence to support the claim that when a change in a substance occurs, it can be classified as either chemical or physical. And our clarification statement is evidence could include the ability to separate mixtures. Remember, that kind of comes back from last unit. With pure substances and mixtures. And we would note the development of gas, formation of a precipitate, that's going to be a vocab word for this unit, change in energy, color, and or form. Okay, so these are our standards. This is what we teachers are in charge of teaching, and you are in charge of learning. And this construct an argument is probably going to be like a test question where you have to write it out, like a short response, and then plan and carry out investigations would be more like a lab type thing. So the first thing that we want to learn is what exactly is a physical property, and that is a characteristic that can be observed, like seen, or measured, that's where we apply numbers, without changing the identity of a substance. So observed would be qualitative, whereas measured would be quantitative. We would have numbers applied to it. And examples, and we'll want you to write all of these down, would be color is a physical property, shape is a physical property, the density of a substance is a calculated physical property. Remember that density is the mass of the substance divided by the volume of a substance. So where density would be something that we could measure and then calculate, color is just something that we can observe. Texture would be a physical property, smell, and then its state of matter, remembering that the four states of matter are solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. We want to remember that both melting points and boiling points are physical properties. Okay, melting points and boiling points are physical properties. A lot of times students will think that those are chemical properties, but they are not. They are physical properties, because when something melts or something freezes or something boils or condenses, it is chemically the same substance. Liquid water is the same H2O as a cube of ice. So just a quick reminder, melting point is the same as freezing point, and it is the temperature at which solid substance melts to form a liquid. The melting point for water is 0 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. We still have to remember those numbers for water. Now, boiling point, which could also be the condensing point, is the temperature at which a liquid begins vaporizing. And vaporizing is just a fancy word for boiling or evaporation, which means it's changing to a gas. And the boiling point for water is 100 degrees Celsius or 212 Fahrenheit. We learned that earlier in the year, and we still have to remember that information. So these are all physical properties. Like physical properties of this pencil would be that it is shiny. We could find the mass of it. We could find the volume of it. We could calculate the density. We could say that it floats in water. We could say that it has a smooth surface. We could say that it is yellow. Those are all physical properties of this pencil. Now, chemical properties would be a characteristic that describes how a substance will interact with other substances during a chemical reaction. So this is going to be a little different. So here are the 5 chemical properties that we're going to focus on. Number 1 is reactivity, how likely an element bonds with another element. Remember that the noble or inert gases don't have much reactivity. They don't bond much. Remember that the most reactive metal is Fr, francium, and the most reactive nonmetal is F, fluorine. Please make sure that you add that to your paper. Francium is the most reactive metal. Fluorine is the most reactive nonmetal. Number 2, the ability to burn. That is a chemical property. This pencil has that chemical property. It has the ability to burn. This wood can be set on fire and burn. Number 3, the ability to rust. The fancy word for rust is oxidize. It means to react with oxygen. Make sure that you add that to your paper. Number 4, the ability to react with light. Some chemicals or substances are light sensitive and will react with light, so that would be a chemical property. And number 5, the ability to react with acids. The metal on the end of this pencil will react with acids and create hydrogen gas. Metals, when they react with acids, create hydrogen gas. So that would be a chemical property of the metal here on this pencil. All right, so next we have this review for chemical properties. It says complete the chart by placing a check in the correct box. I would like for you to pause this video to complete the chart by yourself and then resume the video to check your work. All right, so we are going to check your work. You should already have this chart complete and be using my video to check your work. So a lemon tastes sour. Taste is going to be a physical property. Jason has brown eyes. The color of his eyes is a physical property. Acid reacts with a base to make salt. Underline the word reacts. When we see that word reacts, we know that that is a chemical property. Oxygen supports the burning of paper. That is going to be a chemical property. Underline the word burning. That's our clue there that that's a chemical property. Gold can be hammered into thin sheets called gold foil. That is going to be a physical property. Remember, that is called being malleable, to be hammered into thin sheets. Plants make food by reacting with light during photosynthesis. This word reacting is our key word to tell us that that is a chemical property. Water has a density of 1 gram per milliliter. Remember that density is a physical property. Roses have a wonderful fragrance, so the smell of a rose, that's going to be a physical property. Gasoline burns very rapidly. Underline the word burns. That's our key clue that that is a chemical property. Ethanol boils at 78.4 degrees Celsius. Now, this is tempting to want to say that that is a chemical property, but remember in your notes, right here, we have both melting points and boiling points. Both melting points and boiling points are physical properties. So don't let that one trick you. So ethanol boils at 78.4 degrees Celsius is a physical property. And then motor oil floats on water. Remember, right in that same area of the notes, we have that density is a physical property. So this is just telling us that motor oil is less dense than water because it floats. Okay, so take a moment, check your work. How did you do? And let's flip on over and continue with physical and chemical changes. So flip your page on over and get set up for this last little half. So a physical change is the same idea as a physical property, but instead of a property, we have a change occurring. So a physical change alters the physical properties of a substance without changing the identity of the substance. For example, an ice cube melting or cutting paper with scissors. When the ice cube melts, you still have H2O, chemically speaking. When you cut paper with scissors, you still have paper, it's just in a different shape. Now, a chemical change is going to be different. That occurs when a substance is changed into a new substance with different properties. For example, baking a cake. Once that cake batter goes into the oven and bakes, you're never going to get that raw batter again. Burning a piece of wood. Once that piece of wood has burned in a fire, you're never going to get the original wood back. An iron nail rusting. Once that nail has rusted, you're never going to get the original iron back. You're going to have a new substance there, which is called iron oxide, because the iron in the nail combines with the oxygen in the air, creating a new substance called iron oxide. We'll do more with that in this unit later on. So the chemical reaction is the process by which new substances are formed during the chemical change. All right, so here's the signs that a chemical reaction has occurred. Again, take a minute and make sure that you highlight everything. So here's our signs. You formed a gas. If gas is made, then that is evidence that a chemical reaction has occurred. And kind of a silly 8th grade one, and I hesitate to even mention this, but when food digests, oftentimes gases are made, and that's a sign that a chemical change has happened. If you mix two chemicals together, you've probably seen baking soda and vinegar being mixed together. Then lots of bubbles happen, and that's formation of gas. A change in color, you mix two things together and all of a sudden a different color appears, that's evidence of a chemical reaction. Release of heat, you mix two things together and something gets really hot, that's evidence. Emission of light, if you've ever had a glow stick and you know how you have to crack them open and it starts to glow, that's evidence. And last, formation of a precipitate. A precipitate is when two liquids mix and make a solid. So, a precipitate is a solid that forms from a chemical reaction that takes place in a solution. And you'll see a demo of that pretty soon in class. So, a combustion reaction, combustion is just a fancy word for burning, is a chemical reaction that occurs when oxygen combines with another substance and it's burning, and carbon dioxide and water are produced. And our example is the Bunsen burner, a propane grill, and gasoline in a car engine. Okay, so next, go ahead and complete this chart, and then you're going to check your work with me. Okay, so baking a cake is a chemical change. Mixing flour and sugar and salt in a bowl is physical. Cutting your hair is physical. Burning leaves, burning, and baking are chemical. Sanding a piece of wood is physical. Pizza digesting in your stomach is chemical. Melting, now melting is just a phase change, so that's physical. Water freezing, that's just a phase change, so that's physical. An iron nail rust, that's a chemical change. And last, painting your fingernails, that is just a physical change. Okay, that's going to finish us up for today.